Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of SevTech Ages. Today we are going to get our power situation hopefully squared away, and I'm also hoping to get down at least all of, if not at least one cloche per singularity today as well. So that's kind of the goal. That way we can start chipping away at the singularities themselves, but to start things off, I'm going to actually slaughter all of our sheeps with our Solium Dagger. I didn't enchant this thing as much as I wanted to. We had a looting 2 book in our chest, and I just went ahead and did that. Because if you guys were here for the end of last episode, then you kind of know I was dealing with some more annoying PC stuff. So I didn't want to risk it and try and enchant this thing. I just went ahead and threw that on there just to see if we can at least get a couple of these chunks going. So we're going to kill all of these guys, and there's a chance that we can have a chunk drop from them, and then we can just smelt that down into a tier 2 chunk, and then use that to make a pork chop chunk. Oh man, mouth twister there. But that's what we're going to try and do real quick. There's a couple sheep in here. It's not anything too crazy, so if we don't get one, we don't get one. But I'm just going to go through, kill them all, see if we do. And if we don't, then I'm just going to be running around and slaughtering a bunch of animals pretty much to start today off, because I want to get the chunk things squared away so that we can start trying to focus on getting every single bit of these singularities kind of in motion, since we have all of the metal ones just about handled. Alrighty, well, from all those sheep, we managed to get 9 chunks, so that's good. We can use that to make one of our pork chop seeds, and if we need to, we can also make a secondary one to try and make the carts a little bit quicker, because we're going to need 5 pork chops per cart, and with the essence, we're only going to be getting 4, so we might want to just make 2 of these essence things for the pork chops just to try and handle the mine carts a little bit quicker. But I think for the most part, that's everything kind of squared away, except for the death compass. We still need to make a mob spawning thingy for those guys, because I've only found 2 spawners. If I didn't mention it last episode, I only found 2 of them, so those are only going to spawn so many before they actually break, and then we're going to be kind of out of luck here. So I want to get those things squared away as well. Everything else is somewhat set up. The salt is actually going to be an issue as well, because there's no way of making that into an essence. And as far as I can tell, we just have to run around and find that in the world and dig it up. There's no essence, there's no like setting up the fish trap thingies, which I thought I was able to do, but apparently not. So that is probably what's going to take the most time here, because I just needed to go running around pretty much. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start building out all of our power machines and stuff that we need. I'm also going to smelt down our stuff. Do I not have my wool thing down anymore? It's not in there. It should be there. I'm not sure why it's not there. Okay, whatever. I'll plop that there, though. We are, by the way, if I didn't mention it, we're going to be using the advanced generator stuff. And I'm not sure if this is the mod that you guys were recommending that I use, but that's what we're going to go with. I currently don't see it. This is not the right stuff. Let me put the @ thing there and see if that actually makes it show up. There we go. That's what I want. And what we're going to be building from this mod is a steam turbine. So we'll be using the manilium turbines, because those are going to give us a lot more power compared to the other 2 options that are currently in this pack. Once we get this thing up and running, a fully powered turbine is going to require 4 boilers to run it at full capacity, and that is going to allow us to produce 25,000 RF a tick. So we'll kind of see if we can use just one. If we need to build multiples, we can. I will scale this all the way up to 5 if need be, but I'm hoping that we don't need to go that far. And I'm really hoping that only one of these is able to run the whole thing. We're most likely going to need 2, now that I'm thinking about it, because we do have some machines that are pulling power, but I don't think we're pulling that much power that would require going all the way to 5, but we'll kind of see here. There's also a couple other machines that we're also going to need, so if we look up lava, we are going to have to build out at least 4 of these, if not more currently. I tested this out with only 4 of them, and it ran fine. I did log back into my creative test world, and for some reason, it's no longer fine with only 4 of them, so I don't know if that means like my game kind of lagged out or whatnot, or if 4 of them really isn't enough to run the whole thing, but these are going to produce lava buckets for power. So that is how we're going to heat our boilers. And then for our water, we are either going to do 2 things here. So we are going to either make a whole bunch of the the immersive engineering pumps so that we can flood the line full of water and hopefully have enough of those down to where we don't run into any issues. I'm not really sure. Or if we make one of these, which I don't know if we can do because we need to go into blood magic a little bit here. And blood magic is not something I've touched since the beginning of the pack when we had to mess with it. So we need one of these guys, an alchemy array, and that is then going to be used to make a water sigil. So I don't know how hard that's going to be. We do have one of these, the other thing that was just there, the Hellfire Soul thingy, the demonic will. There you go. So maybe it's doable. I'll try and look into it. If we can do this, then we will. But yeah, I'm not gonna hold my breath on that one. We'll see about it when we get there. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start producing some of the machines. We have a whole bunch of manilium. We have a whole bunch of iron and redstone. Pretty much is all that machine is going to take. So let me go ahead and throw together as much of this steam turbine as we have the material for, and then we can also probably throw together the lava things. I have 8 of the circuits set aside just in case we need 8 of them, but we'll hold on to those. Those are all the circuits that I have made right now. I don't have our pneumatic craft stuff running. I also completely forgot about it, but I found some nuclear bombs. So I went back to Jupiter, I think? Saturn? Which one had a bunch of slime on the surface? Because I didn't really want to farm up slime, so I just went back over there, vein mined a whole bunch of slime, and I was just getting it like that, the big blocks of stuff on the surface, and inside of those slime deposits, there were nuclear bombs. So I don't know how big these are going to be, because I haven't lit any off. I don't like that it says TNT on it, so that's kind of not really reinforcing the whole nuclear explosion size, but we can maybe light one of those off somewhere not close to base, just in case it's one of those like red matter bombs that's just going to destroy our world, but we will see how that looks. Anyways, let me crack away on this thing and see how much of that we can actually get done. Alrighty, well, I was able to throw together all of the items required for the boiler as well as the turbine, so that is good to go right now. What we are going to craft up next is the lava fabricators. We're only going to do 4 of them right now, and if we need more of them, then we can try and get more put together, but we're going to give 4 a try, and hopefully we can do this in this table, although we don't have the little plus sign, so that's not really looking too promising. Okay, let me save the recipe. And let me manually put everything in and see if this works. I don't know if anybody has told me whether or not this does work. If you guys have, my bad. It's just that this episode is getting recorded prior to last episode going live because I am trying to cover ground here just to make sure that I'm not going to be missing a couple of weeks here. So, computer's working. We're gonna hammer out episodes here as best we can. So this goes there, this goes in the center, and we are able to craft it. Okay, cool. That is going to save us some time here. We don't have to go throw one of the gold tables together, which is fantastic. So let's see. What else did we need for the lava fabricator? We should have, I think, all of that in the system. So let me take the plastic back. And if we click on this guy, we should be able to just do one of these like so, plop that there, and then shift it. There we go. Nice. Okay, cool. So there is our lava fabricators done. We are also going to need a whole bunch of the mechanism cabling. So I am going to do that. I have been taking a bunch of our iron and smushing it down into the enriched stuff because what I want to do is have at least 4 stacks of the power cable as well as the gas cable, because we want to make sure that we have everything ready to go. Alrighty, well, unless I'm misunderstanding this, this is going to be a relatively straightforward thing here. So we need one of the whatchamacallits, blank slates, which is just stone put through this, which I'm not sure if we have enough blood in there right now, so I'm just going to... yeah, we definitely don't have enough blood. Okay. I'm going to poke myself until we get that thing crafted, but the recipe is relatively straightforward and easy, and it's all tier 1 stuff. So this is probably something we could have thrown together, like the first time we messed around with this. So it's not going to be super duper complicated, I do not think. Let's take that off of there before it turns into the next tier thing. And now all we got to do is place this guy down, which is the Hellfire Forge. Inside of this, we are going to want to craft up the ash. So we should have ash. You know what? It's over in the furnace. Let me go grab that in 2 seconds. Alrighty, let's go ahead and craft this stuff up now. So it's ash, gunpowder, white dye, and the stuff on the other side, the ash on the top left. So that should give us that, although we need to plop one of these guys in, so let's plop the smaller one, and I don't think we have to do anything. It should just plop out. There we go. Nice. Okay, so we only need one. Let's just take that and see if we can get this done. We are also going to need one of these, which is 2 buckets of water and a sugar, so can we just do that? Oh, we can just do that. Okay, cool. The recipe's not moving. Why is it not moving? I think that is the issue right there. It needs a minimum of 10 will, and it'll drain 3 to make that. I'm pretty sure that's what that means, because this one over here says 0 and 0, so we currently have 4.4 and 4.7, and we can't get this thing to craft. Okay, so I think what I have to do is actually run around with our sword thingy that we made to get these demonic wills and try to get a better soul. The only thing I can think of that might give us something crazy right off the bat would be a dragon, which we could resummon the dragon and get it like that. I don't know what any of these other ones are, so maybe we do a quick little dragon fight, actually, because that's the only boss thing. I guess the wither, we can summon a wither, but that is going to require the skulls, and I don't think I have the skulls at the moment. I'm going to check. You know what? Let me check. We might be able to do the wither, or we might go ahead and just summon the dragon again. The dragon is going to be an advancement that we can get for the list of stuff here, so, I mean, either way, we're going to do one little mini boss fight here. We shouldn't have any issues with it. We currently only have 2 skulls, but I think we can make the third one like that. There we go. So we just need some soul sand, and we can do this one real quick and see. Oh, that's not soul, dummy. That's not how you spell soul either, dum-dum. Is that the stuff we need? That is not the stuff we need. Do I have soul sand in here? I do. We are very, very low on it, though. So we need 4, right? 3 and then 1? Yeah, I think. So we'll give this a go, see how well this pans out for us. We are going to want to take... Where did I leave that sword? Oh, you know what? I don't think we ever made that sword. I think we were using the snare, which we were. Okay, so we have 25 of them. Let me take all of them. I don't know if we can snare the wither. That's going to be a bit of an issue if we can't. How do we make the sword? We take a Teteric gem and combine it with a sword. How do we get a gem? We combine... Okay, what if we just do that instead? Alrighty, and there is our sword. So we should be able to get a will guaranteed, hopefully, from the wither that we're about to kill. Well, we're not going to go all the way down to bedrock, so we just went down one of our shafts that I was mining our gold from. So let's plop these guys on, and hopefully this goes well. I don't know if I still have to hit him with this. I'm pretty sure that's why the sword is a thing. So please don't instant kill him with the throwing stars. We really don't want to have that happen. Actually, you know what? Just in case that does happen, where did he just go? Okay, he's right there. Let's chuck these until he starts glowing. Right, I'm pretty sure that's how this works. Although it's going pretty bad because our hearts are... oh, no, we got 2 bars of hearts, right? Hopefully. I think. I'm pretty sure. So, please die. Oh, we're dying very fast. Please don't have that heart go down. I'm pretty sure we're good. I think we're good. I'm hoping we're good. If we're not good, then I'll know here in a second because our hearts are dropping very fast. Please die. Please die. Thank you. Okay, we might die to withering, which is fine, I think. We didn't get a will, though. Oh, we did get a will. We got a 15 will. Okay, that is great. So now this should allow us to craft it, which it is indeed working, so that's good. This is going to be the water regent. Okay, so with that, we then plop a thing on the ground and somehow mix it together. Okay, that's the bit I'm not quite understanding here, but I think if we take this, we plop it on the ground, and then we chuck that and that. Oh, never mind, it came back into our inventory. That's probably not great. It might tell me how to... Oh, I just clicked it on there, and I clicked that on there. Turn into magic? No, that's not going to happen. Okay, I'm going to read the book real quick, because... Oh, no, we got it back. Great. Okay, anyways, yeah, I'm going to read the book real quick, see what I got to do. Okay, well, admittedly, the book is not all that helpful, so is that how you do it? Maybe? Because the way the recipe looks, it looked like you put the sigil on top afterwards, and that is indeed how that worked. Okay. So that's awesome. That was probably the most concerning thing that I had to make for this thing, which everything else is now just pretty straightforward. We're going to need steel, we're going to need iron, we're going to need these guys, which we can make. It's just going to be lapis and cyan powder, so that's relatively straightforward and easy. We just plop it on that empower that we have in the room. Okay, well, we are just about ready to start building here. We have all of our machines that we need. We also have a bunch of drawers because we're going to be having a lot of those things placed down. But before I actually do this, I want to try one thing really quick, because if this works, then that is going to save us having to craft the auto crafting stuff for the computer unit here. So we're going to take one compacting drawer. We're also going to take one normal one as well, because we are going to have that stuff going into it, just like we have this one over here. Let's give this a try here. So I know that the emerald and the diamond ones take 9 to compact into usable stuff. So that's a no. We put it there? No, that also is a no. Okay, well, I guess this isn't going to work then. Yeah, that's also not going to work. These guys don't. Okay. So we do have to craft the auto crafting stuff from the other mod. Unfortunately, that's fine. Anyways, though, this is where I'm going to be building out the garden cloche area, and then below it, we are going to place down our turbine and the boilers to run everything. So that's how this is going to work out. We're also going to build the biggest version of the cloche farm that I wanted to initially. I don't know if we're actually going to utilize the entire area, but we are going to have 12 drawer things above it and 12 below, and then 12 to either side. So we're going to have a lot of cloches available to be placed, but right now we're going to stick to only having down 4 of them, kind of see how long that's going to take to progress the singularities, and if that is going to be pretty slow, then we can start increasing them one by one here and covering the entire area. But this is going to be the top floor. So onto this section, we are going to go to the side, and I have it marked out already. This should be 12 away, so we should be able to do one of these. And we're not really going to be able to walk around in here once everything is in place. Or I guess we should be able to, because we're going to be using these cables, so we shouldn't be getting shocked over and over again. But if we take this guy out, we can plop that guy there. And then on the outsides here, we should be having cloches. And then the drawers are going to be facing on the inside, so something like that. And then we're going to have walkways going through, and the cloches are going to be squeezed as tight as we can. So it's going to be a cloche here, one walkway wide little strip, and then another cloche there. Rinse and repeat all the way across. Anyways, though, the few sections where we can walk is going to be like this area here, and in those we are going to have just quartz as the floor tile. So it's going to be quartz, a whole lot of dark oak, and cloches pretty much everywhere. So that is pretty much the whole build. I don't exactly know what I want to do on the outside just yet. It's honestly probably just going to be a big box, and we'll probably end up doing that in between episodes because I don't have a whole lot of materials to build this thing out right now. So we'll kind of see if anything comes of this, or honestly, we just have cloches on the ground out in the open because we have everything so lit up. There's no chance of creepers or anything ruining our day. So kind of not too interested in building another building near the end of the series, but we'll kind of see how this goes. Well, I went ahead and dug out a little bit of an area here so that we can place down our boilers on the very bottom, and then above us is where our turbine is going to be. I made the area nice and big so that if I need more turbines, I can place down all 5 on that top layer, and then down here, we might need to make it bigger depending on if we are going to use all 5 of those things or not. But right now, we should be able to do one of these, and we want to have this a little 3x3, and then this goes there. That is going to tell us that it's connected, and we have a little UI going on. So in total on these guys, we want to have 50 of these things, these heat exchangers. We are also going to want an item output somewhere on this because this is going to be producing obsidian for us. And we want inputs and outputs as well because we are going to need water and lava coming in. So let's have the water and lava on the sides here. Sure. The steam output can go toward the top of this whole little setup, so that way we don't have to travel as far. So let me place down the 50 of these that this thing needs, and with the 50 of those down, we can place in our fluid outputs. So let's get that right over there. We also, once again, need this thing somewhere, so for right now, we can just have it there. On top of that, we are either going to have a drawer with a void upgrade on it, so that way we have some obsidian on hand should we ever need it. Or I will just craft together some trash cans and plop them on top. It's pretty much going to do the same thing. So that is one single boiler done. We are going to have 2 more of those ones nearly identical. And then the the fourth one is going to be much smaller because we only need 9 of the heat exchangers, so we don't need to go that high with it. But let me go ahead and place these other ones in so that we can start producing our steam. Well, all of the boilers are now down, and I did rearrange the outputs because I had 4 of them down. We only want to have 3 of them right now, so that should work. Right now, we're going to place down all of the turbine stuff and get this kind of squared away as well. So that's going to cover up the hole there. And we are going to have the turbine controller right here. And that should allow us to connect, and it does. Tells us we have 9 of the turbines down. This is also going to take 50 turbines, so we're going to place all of those guys down. We also have these things right here. So these are batteries that we can add onto this, so when we're not using this thing, we have hopefully a surplus of power building up. So we're going to do that, and then on the bottom, let's see, we have power output. We also have fluid intakes. So let's see, where do we want these? We probably want them on the bottom, honestly, so that way we don't see them. So do I got a normal pick? Give me this guy. Let's punch a hole here, and then we should be able to just place them like that, and it should hopefully allow us to connect to them properly, which I can't quite do because of that thing in the way. So let's place that there, and it connects. Cool. So for the power outputs, we can have more of these on there. We can have up to 6 of them as well. So for right this instant, I think what we'll do is actually just have it on the side here, because we're going to be running power from this to run our lava fabricators right now. And then if we need to have more of these down so that we can pull power elsewhere, or that single cable's just not able to keep up and not drain this thing consistently, then we will add more in. But for the most part, that is the entire turbine done as well. Let me just place all this stuff in. Alrighty, well, I went ahead and made a couple more changes before we get everything up and running. So on the back side of our turbine area, we have all of our lava fabricators down right now. Those are going to drain down below, and we have, oh, I was hoping I'd land on that, but I didn't. But we have that draining down below with the mechanism piping, so we don't have to actually do anything. It's just going to auto pull like it has a built-in servo. And the only thing that I moved around for the boilers here are the fluid inputs and the outputs, so that way we don't have to run the lava all the way down and around. We can just run it right to the top back of these things. And then for the water down here, I am going to leave it as it is right now. We might move this input as well, probably underneath or somewhere else, just so that we can run water to all of the cloches as well, because I don't really want to have to build another one of these. But if we can avoid it, that'd be good. If not, then we'll just dedicate one of these to the boiler room and then another one for all the cloches. But for right now, we are just going to drop this into the ground like that. I need to take my jetpack off because that is going to get annoying. And with this, we can just run the piping over. Oh, I forgot we're above a, whatchamacallit. Okay. Anyways, we should be able to just run one of the pipings like this. We're picking stuff up, right? I think we're picking stuff up. Yeah, we're picking it up. Okay, cool. Anyways, yeah, that's going to run that way. We can run one to the right, plug into both of these boilers, and I believe we are going to have to kickstart this thing because it's not going to have any lava in the system, so it's not really going to start producing any power, which means it's not going to kick on the lava fabricators themselves. So let's do one of those. We plug this in like that, and then we have to toggle this to pull as well. So all of these should get supplied with water, which they are indeed. That is good. And if we also need to increase the water capacity into these, we can also just plop another pipe here, and that'll be a secondary input onto the boiler. Whether or not our piping can handle that, I don't really know. It can carry 64 buckets apparently, and pump 64 buckets at a time. A tick, not a time, dum-dum. But yeah, we should hopefully be able to supply all the water we need with this one single block. Alrighty, well, I just went ahead and kick-started the whole thing here. We have 22 buckets worth of lava in the system right now, and I'm hoping that is enough to actually keep this thing going, although it doesn't really look like that's gonna be the case because we are producing lava in these, but we are producing RF very, very slowly. Oh, it just jumped up there. Hold on. Oh, never mind. It jumped right back down. Okay. Alrighty. Well, before I give up on the power today, I'm going to try one more thing here to see if maybe we can get it kickstarted like this. So I'm going to unplug all of our boilers. We're only going to have one plugged in. That way we start producing a bunch of steam, because one of these should be able to produce, I want to say like 7,000 steam. So that should in turn get our generator producing more power than it just was. And then as it gets going, we start building a backlog of lava. We can then plug in a secondary boiler and rinse and repeat until we have a lot of lava coming in, because I'm pretty sure, right, the cabling holds 64 buckets. So as long as we let it backlog in that thing, we can then start supplying the other boilers slowly. So we'll give that one a try. I'm going to go get more lava. And then if that works, great. If it also doesn't work, then we're just going to smash out the cloches and get that kind of going regardless. It is working. We're producing 7,000 RF this time around instead of the 1,300 to 23 or 2,400 we were spiking to. We are hopefully going to start building a backlog in our batteries as well, which doesn't look like we are. We are building up a little bit of steam though, so that's good. So let it run for a minute and see if we become positive on lava here shortly. Because if we start building up lava in the machines, then we're good somewhat to add in the secondary boiler, which is then only going to increase more power being produced by this thing. Well, this has been running for a few minutes, and we're not building up a backlog, but we're also not draining the pipe. So I think we might be okay to plug in a secondary boiler. We are currently at max capacity on this first one, and it's only using 27 millibuckets every tick. So I think we should be kind of fine doing this. We will see here in a second whether or not that is indeed the case. Anyways, though, while we're letting our boilers run, we are going to set down a bunch of our cloches here, and I just want to double check our measurements here, because if I'm too wide, then we're not going to connect stuff. So this should be the final one. So we'll just do one of these real quick, and the one on the outside should not lock. So our markings are correct. So I'm going to go through and place down whatever cloches we have. We don't have very many at the moment, so I do need to go ahead and craft some, but at the moment it should be fine, because I think we have just enough to have at least all of our seeds down that we need right now to start producing the stuff required for the singularities. So once we start upscaling, then I'll worry about building out more of these things. But right now, we're good, I think. Alrighty, well, that's all of our drawers down as well as our cloches. So let's go take a look at our turbine and see if we're producing any more lava than we were. And maybe we can run a power line all the way up and plug in the cloches as well, which we sure don't have more lava in the machines. Okay, there might be a way to check the lava in the line. I don't really know if there is or isn't, so we're just gonna gamble with this, and hopefully we are able to supply a third boiler here. So let's do this. We're gonna jump up another 7,000 power. And if we lose all of our lava, then we can't support this, and we need to make more of these guys pretty much, which in turn means this guy's probably not going to be enough. So fingers crossed we can get this kind of working. I need to start building a surplus of power, which right now we're climbing, but that's only because we're climbing in power production. So give me a few seconds. We should hit capacity just about to 25,000, which honestly, if we're able to power this boiler, since it's the bigger one, we should also be able to power the small one, because that's going to be consuming 16 buckets of lava as well, but it's not going to be burning it off as fast as the bigger ones are. So this will top out around 23 something, 24 something, I think. I'm going to chance it. We're going to plug in that last reactor, or the boiler. That way we're running at full capacity. We should be generating 25,000 RF a tick, and we are indeed maxed out at 25,000 RF a tick. So we're still climbing on the surplus of power, which is great, and these guys are still producing lava. Hopefully that keeps up. How much power can these guys transfer? 128,000 RF. So that should be able to pull the power that we're producing, right, at a decent rate. Hopefully, unless we have to run multiples of these to these machines, which I kind of don't want to do, but if we need to, I guess we could. But they don't seem to be getting any slower now that we have all this power being produced. It seems like they're almost getting faster in a way. Yeah. So I think we're good. Hopefully, I'm going to cross my fingers. We are going to AFK for a little while, or maybe like 10, 15 minutes, just to see if these guys will stay on. And if we lose all power, then I'll figure something out in between episodes, I guess. But hopefully that's not the case. I'm going to let it run for a little bit. Probably move all the dirt and seeds into the cloches here so we can run a power cable and get things rolling here, but I will be right back with you guys. Alrighty, well there we go. We have all of our cloches running, so that's great. We still have to craft up that pork chop crop thingy because I never got around to that. I did smelt them down, but I just didn't actually craft it into the usable item. But before we do that, I am very concerned about this area down here, so let me just very quickly double check and make sure that we're not running into any issues before I go craft that thing. We're still maxed out, so I think we're good. We might be able to get away with increasing our overall power if we do need it. Possibly. But I'm not going to push it. Right now, one of these is fine. Once we get around to placing down the singularity compressor things, then we might need to place down a secondary turbine. But right now, where it is, it's fine. So let's craft up our pig essence. So we should only need 4 of those. Oh, I put the wrong thing back in there. Okay, that's fine. Let's do this, get that, and craft together our pig seed. So that is another singularity dealt with. And I guess what I'll end up doing in between episodes is trying to farm up some of the salt, because that is going to be the thing that's probably going to hold us up the most. We're also going to need to craft up all of the spawning stuff. I keep kind of forgetting about it, but it is very, very important that we do get that going as soon as we can. So let's actually just chuck this into the cloche, and then I am probably going to try and get one of those put together right now. So, oh, we don't have dirt on us. Okay, you know what? Fine. Let's just do one of these. That's fine. I'll just put it back in a bit, but for right now, that's fine. It's going to start producing the essence, and that's great. So right now, we are only going to be focusing on the player skins, because those are the only things that drop the compasses. So I'm going to grab one of them. I'm going to drag the spawners back over here as well, which we can do that with, I believe, one of... That's not the right name. Hold on. Let me see. Was it a sack? It is a sack. Okay, so we're going to want one of these as well. So let's actually get 2 of them, because I only know where 2 spawners are. If I find more, then we'll probably end up making more of them and dragging them back with that as well. But that is going to allow us to bring over those 2 spawners, as well as one of them in our capture tool there. So that's good. There's our mob duplicator dealt with. So now what we're also going to be using with this is one of the absorption hoppers, which we have already crafted because I had it with our sheep. But the other thing that we're going to be using is the mob grinder, if I can find that. It's this stuff right here. So the reason that I'm going to go with this, or the mob masher, is because it doesn't take any power to run this thing. All we got to do is put a lever on it and it runs. We're also able to throw upgrades on it, so we can put looting, we can put sharpness, we can put a bunch of random stuff on there to help increase the drop rate. So hopefully that's a good option. I don't know. We could also probably end up using the mob masher thingy from Industrial Foregoing as well, but you can't put looting on that. So I don't know if that is a good option or not, but we're going to give this one a try. We're also going to be using the fans from that mod as well, because we can add the extensions to that as well. We're also going to need one of these guys right here, the fluid dictionary converters, because we're going to be generating normal experience from the way that we're going to have this set up, and we need to turn it into essence for the machine to actually run. So that is pretty much the entirety of that whole setup, which we need another machine casing, which we have the stuff to do, because I made a bunch more of the stabilized metal, because I kind of had a feeling we're going to need more of it. So let me go ahead and get this thing crafted together. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that right now. I am actually going to run out to where we have the spawners, and we're going to pick them up and bring them over here just for right now. All right, well, here we are at the first one here. We just need it to spawn something. So let's actually move this real quickly over into probably here, just so it's a little darker. There we go. Now, I don't know if it's going to matter how much hearts these guys have. I did see a thing that said the lower they are, the less essence it's going to require to spawn them. So we got it down to 2.7 hearts. I don't know if that's actually true or not, so we will see. But hopefully this all works out. But that's one spawner. I'm going to go grab the secondary one. And there's player spawner number 2. Great. I'm really hoping that it keeps the player spawner thing and it's not resetting them. But we also have a zombie spawner here if we need it for some reason. But we also have more of these by our base. We have one of the big like knife finger thingies that spawns near our base. So if we do need more spawners because the little dark room setup doesn't work the way that I'm thinking it will, we can just plop a couple of those down there and use up all the spawns on the spawners at least to try and generate the death compasses. Alrighty, and there is our fluid directory as well. Anyways, now that we have the machine side of things done, pretty much, we just need the fans and the grinder, which I'm gonna go ahead and set up in between episodes because it's just a lot of repetitive recipes over and over again. We're gonna need a lot of swords and just pretty much a lot of iron to get all that kind of going. So before we wrap up today's episode, I want to throw together a couple of these guys. We use them in Vault Hunters. These are going to allow us to transfer our power and I think other items wirelessly. So the reason that I want to use this is for our mob farm. If we can have one of these on top of the mob farm, providing it the power and the essence, then we don't need to run cables into the mob farm itself, which is going to be great because then I can just go plop a mob farm anywhere in the world that I want and not have to run cabling to it. So this is relatively cheap and straightforward to get going. It's just a lot of recycled recipes over and over again, which we just get by putting all of this stuff through our metallurgic infuser, which I have a bit of this stuff already backlogged because I was using it to make the cables. So we should be able to get at least 2 of these together. I want to go for, yeah, at least 3 actually, because we're going to want one on power, we're going to want one on the essence, and we're going to want one on the mob grinder itself, or the mob spawning thing itself. We can move all that stuff into there, and there is 6 of the diamond ones. Let's go once more into the purple, and there we go. So now we should maybe have everything in the system. So can we shift click 3 of these into existence? We sure can. So that is awesome. But anyways, that is going to be it for today's episode. So I hope you guys have enjoyed as always, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.